everybody, this is Adam. Even though our state of eternity is solidified if we have a relationship with God, the exact nature of our eternity can still be determined. Being saved does not mean we should quit living a life for God. You can still have an impact on your eternity. The way you live your life does matter. There will be an eternal impact based upon how you live. What do I mean by that? Well, the Bible is very clear that all people will be judged by God. Even Christians will be judged by God. Not on whether or not we have chosen to follow Him, because we have, but how did we follow Him with what He has given us? I want to emphasize God gives a lot of grace. The Bible talks about grace all the time. It's about God's faithfulness, not our faithfulness. However, the Bible is also clear that God gives different rewards to people based upon what they did with their lives. I have given several examples in the study notes. 2 verses I want to highlight for you are 2 Corinthians 5:10, which talks about how all will stand before the judgment seat of Christ, and 1 Corinthians 3:10-15, which talks of how you can accept salvation, have a relationship with God, but it's still possible for our focus in life to be on things that are worthless. Those people will be saved, but everything they did in their life will be burned up by the fire. I want to read this quote to you from GodQuestions.org that's really helpful about understanding what a reward really is. The rewards we gain in heaven are not like the rewards we earn here on earth. We tend to think in material terms, mansions, jewels, etc. But these things are only representations of the true rewards we will gain in heaven. A child who wins a spelling bee treasures the trophy he receives, not for the sake of the trophy itself, but what for the trophy means. Likewise, any rewards or honor we gain in heaven will be precious to us because they carry the weight and meaning of our relationship with God, and they remind us of what He did through us on earth. So the idea is, don't be thinking in terms of rewards like cars or money. I get a car in heaven, I get money in heaven. Think more about experiencing the fruits, the benefits of what you did in your life and following God. I could keep going on about rewards, but I want to direct our attention to a very particular kind of reward, and that is treasure in heaven. You probably heard the saying, store up your treasure in heaven, but you may not have thought about, well, what does that really mean? So when Jesus says to store up treasure or lay up treasure in heaven, it literally means to be treasuring treasure. Treasure is money that's stored away somewhere. Oftentimes governments store their money away in a treasury, a thesaurus. That comes from the same word as treasure. It is a storehouse of words. The idea is to save up for heaven. Well, how do you do that? And you can see the study notes for every example, but the key verse I want to give you is 1 Timothy 6:17-19, which says, as for the rich Christians in this present age, charge them not to be haughty, nor to set their hopes on the uncertainty of riches, but on God, who richly provides us everything to enjoy. They, the rich Christians, are to do good, to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves as a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. The verse clearly says that we store up treasure in heaven by being generous. There's 3 different times where Jesus tells people to store up treasure, and it's always about giving. A big emphasis is to not put our trust in wealth. Storing up treasure in heaven specifically means to forsake one trust and value of financial wealth in the present by being generous, especially to the poor, in order to gain some future benefit in heaven. Treasure in heaven is used as an analogy for some sort of reward in heaven as a result of financial activity on earth. So when you put money in a savings account, you put it away for later where you can't get to it, but you have it in the future for future benefits. Same thing for investments. You may incur a present loss now, but you gain a benefit in the future. When you are generous with your money, there's something that you gain later. Now you might be wondering, well, what is that benefit? The Bible does not give us any indication whatsoever what that heavenly treasure is. It's a surprise. It's probably not actual money. It's probably not even something material. So don't think that if you give more money, you'll get a nice car or something like that. It's not like that at all. The big question you need to ask yourself is, what does my current level of generosity tell me about my trust in the Lord? This is not about giving more to the church or anything like that. Actually, storing up treasure in heaven relates more to giving to the poor. But the main point is, how much do you trust in your money? And I know that's a hard concept. Money is something that's concrete. It provides benefits now. It's tangible. It's real. Yet the Bible says we need to be generous with it and we will get a benefit in the future. Something that isn't really tangible right now. If you struggle with giving money and giving your resources, you probably trust money too much. Money is important, but you need to think about eternity. Would I rather have my trust in money now? Or would I rather be generous and get something better down the road?